Hey everybody, Christine here. I'm bringing you this month's video series presentation, Life and Spiritual Coaching. And this month's theme is the chakras, and it's understanding the chakras. And I find that once I had a better knowledge of the chakras and how they're associated with our mental, emotional, and physical body, things made a lot more sense. So we're going to go through all of them, and for those of you who don't know what chakras are, right behind me here is my little sign, and these are the chakras. We have 7 main energy centers, and they're called chakras, which in Sanskrit basically translates to a spinning wheel. Okay, and each one of these is an energy center and each one has its own association with your emotions, your mental state, and your physical state. So starting at the bottom, we have the red, which is the root chakra, which is right at the base of your spine. Okay, then you move up to the orange, which is your sacral chakra, and that is right below your belly button, your emotional center. Then we move up to the yellow, that is your solar plexus, right above your belly button. That is your energy center, your personal power, and we'll get into all of those, of course. Then we move up to the green, is the heart center, the heart chakra. Now, some people will say, well, when it comes to crystals, we can use pink crystals for a heart chakra, and that is true. The chakra itself is green, but when we're using healing energies such as crystals, you can use green crystals or you can use pink if you find that the green crystals are too strong for you. Then we move up to the blue, which is your throat chakra, and that's your speech. Then it's the third eye, which is right here. Okay, right at your forehead. That is that third eye that you see on a lot of statues and pictures and posters and things like that. That's your intuitive seeing. And then, of course, the last one at the very top is your crown chakra, and that is your connection to spirit. Okay. So each one of these, like I said, is connected to us emotionally, mentally, and physically. So when I'm doing Reiki on people, I can feel their chakras, I can sense their chakras, I can see the chakras. And I can see if they're off, if their colors are too dim or too bright, or their whole chakra's too small, if it's closed or broken or ripped or shredded, or it's too big, things like that. And this also helps me to decipher what is going on with the person. So for example, if I'm doing Reiki on their heart chakra and my hand is heating up and I can feel the energy pouring into them in their heart chakra, I know there's something wrong. Intuitively speaking, I know right away if it's emotional or physical, which 90% of the time it is emotional, usually because we're holding on to things and such, or we've lost someone. So, knowing about the chakras definitely helps you to understand what's going on with you. So if I'm doing a little self-work and I notice like, wow, my hip is really hurting me today. Why? I haven't done anything to hurt my hip. Then I kind of look at it like, okay, hip is root chakra. Root chakra is fears, doubts, worries, things like that. And I'm like, okay, is that where my energy is? Am I fearful of something? Am I worried about something? Am I doubting myself? Am I not moving forward? Because again, now let's bring it physical, and hips are all about moving forward. So if I haven't physically done something to hurt myself, then maybe I'm not moving forward. And if I'm not moving forward, what is it connected to, or who is it connected to? So we can start to associate the energy centers with what's going on with ourselves in life. So that was just an example. So let's start at the bottom, right? We'll start right at the bottom with the root chakra, the red. Okay, again, it is at the base of your spine. And basically your root chakra is your groundedness, it's your stability, it is your fears, your doubts, your worries, but it's also your strength and your courage. As far as your physical body, it is your legs, your hips, you're moving forward, right? It's a lot to do with your skeletal system. Okay. Now we move up to the orange. The orange again, right below the belly button. Okay. That's your sacral chakra. That is your emotional center. Usually anything very emotional going on with you will show up there. And usually when I'm doing Reiki, the heart and the emotions are always together, both on fire. So I definitely know there's something emotionally going on with the person's heart chakra when I notice that the heart chakra is off. So the sacral chakra also physically is connected to our very lower abdomen, our reproductive area, the bladder, okay? So if you ever notice, and this is where your physical kind of blends with your emotions, if you're very, I'll use the words pissed off, and you start noticing you're getting UTIs, what are you pissed off at? Who are you pissed off at? And what are you not letting go of? Because if you learn to let go of being angry, therefore you do not end up with any physical ailments in your bladder or your kidneys. So just a word for thought there. Now let's move up again as we go into the yellow again. Solar plexus, okay? So right below the breast, right above the belly button, right in that area. So that is your energy center. That is your personal power space. That is your confidence, your self-esteem. But it's the energy center in which you receive energy as well. Now, if you ever walked into a space and you walk in and you go, I don't like it here, something feels off. That's where you feel it, right in your gut, okay? Your gut's never wrong. So focus on that. If you walk into a space and right away you're like, no, don't like it here, put your hands over your solar plexus like this, or you can cross your arms. Of course, sometimes that seems very off-putting to other people, like why you're sitting there with your arms crossed. You know, you can just very nonchalantly put one arm in front of the other, or, you know, whatnot as you're talking. But we have this natural habit of just covering that up, and we don't realize we're doing it half the time. So as much as you may feel negative energy coming at your gut, it's also the space where your good energy comes out, or your negative energy, okay? Because we do have bad days, so not every day is perfect. But what happens is, because that's an energy center, we're constantly bringing in good energy, bad energy, putting out bad energy, putting out good energy. If you find yourself in a bad space with bad energy, okay, envision a lot of yellow light going into that space. So this way you're clearing it out, okay? You're bringing in more positive energy, more high energy, and that would be very helpful, okay, for you, okay? Now we go back to the green, the heart chakra. The heart chakra is your emotional heart. It is where your grief would be, your heartache, what makes you sad, you know, who has made you sad. You'll feel it in your heart. Also in your physical, it is your heart itself, your physical heart, your lungs. So if you have a bad cold or you have asthma, things like that, it would show up in the heart chakra, okay? And again, like I was saying before, if you're a crystal user, then you can use green crystals or pink crystals. But if you like a softer energy, more on the compassionate side versus the love side, then you can use the pink, okay? Moving up to the throat chakra, right in your throat, okay? It's your speech. It's your truth. It's your integrity. It's saying what needs to be said. It's setting boundaries. But at the same time, physically, it is your throat. It is, it's the mouth, it's the throat, it's the speaking, it's all of that. So colds, flus, allergies, things like that will show up in your throat chakra. Now, if you're perfectly healthy, but you catch yourself constantly like clearing your throat, coughing, it's like, geez, what is going on with me? Think about it in that moment. Is there something I should be saying? Should I be speaking up? You know, should I be saying more? Should I be setting some boundaries? That all comes from the throat. So speak your truth, speak your integrity, speak your boundaries. Now we move up again, like I said, step by step, third eye chakra, brow chakra, whatever you want to call it. Most people say third eye chakra. It's an indigo color, which is that deep, dark, purpley navy, okay? That is your clear seeing, your clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. So being able to see clearly, meaning in your mind's eye, intuitively speaking, your physical vision, all of that is connected to the third eye chakra, okay? Your dreams, your daydreams, those things, any visuals that comes within your mind or outside of yourself, that is all to do with the third eye chakra. And then of course the very last one, the crown chakra, back to the top. Okay, it is violet, purple, however you want to look at it, and it is at the crown of your head. This is your connection to spirit, to the divine, to God, to the universe, the creator, whoever, whatever you connect with. That is where it goes. So now if you're one of those people who say, I never get any signs, I don't get any messages, I can't seem to connect, I can't seem to meditate, I can't seem to, your crown chakra is probably all blocked up. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about, how to unblock our chakras. So physically speaking, as far as your crown chakra, it would be your hair, your scalp, your brain, your skull, okay? All up and around here, okay? That's all connected to your crown chakra. So now, how do we clear our chakras? So you'll have to excuse me, Archangel Michael is here, and he always tickles my nose when he's around. Because I always say to him, Archangel Michael, please help me when I'm doing my videos, so I say what I need to say, so the people get the information they need so it can help them, give me strength, give me courage. I always ask for that. And I can always tell when he's around because there goes the nose. The feather is tickling the nose. So it is what it is. So don't mind me as I flip through my notes real quickly here as we go along, because I don't want to forget anything important, because I can start babbling at times, and then by the time I start doing that, next thing you know, it's like, oh, I forgot this or I forgot that. All right, so people who are very much so in their crown chakra, okay, those people have personality traits that make them, I should say, inspirational leaders. They're kind, they're just, they're humanitarians, they're self-sacrificing, they're visionaries, they're creative, and they're very strong mentally, okay? People that have a good, solid crown chakra, okay? Now, your crown chakra is also about self-awareness, spiritual awareness, self-knowledge, all those things. When you think of the head, it's your mind, so it's about awareness, it's about knowledge, but also the spiritual side of it as well, okay? Because we talked a little bit about crystals when I was talking about the heart, and I want to add a few crystals in here, and I was trying to think of which ones. And if you want to hold on to crystals that are going to help to open that crown chakra for you, then you want to think of things like amethyst, ametrine, citrine, clear quartz. I like the clear quartz. For me, that's my crown chakra stone. That's the one I like to use. But you can use diamond. You can use Herkimer diamond, sorry. Howlite, sugarlight, white topaz. So anything in a light purple color. Or white color, or the clear, okay? And citrine and ametrine and amethyst, clear quartz, those are all quartz, okay? The only difference is what happens to them when they're in the earth, which makes them change color, okay? Which is heat, basically. But if you want to have crystals to work with that, then by all means do so. And those you can hold on to either in your pocket or on your person somewhere, or hold them while you meditate, or if you lay down to meditate, you can always put it at the top of your head, whatever works for you. If you're somebody whose crown chakra is like way too open, okay, what happens is people with huge crown chakras tend to be overbearing. They tend to be narcissistic, irritable, very impatient. They can be arrogant at times, because I believe that when the crown chakra is way too open, what's happening is the ego is just, right? They say, oh, your head's swollen, you get a big head. It's a big crown chakra. So when you have that, you have the ego. And that's not a place you want to be. You want to be in a place where you're balanced and you're connected in your spiritual self, okay? But of course, as much as, to me, just for show, I always think of a chakra the size of like a CD, okay? So about yay big, right? Perfectly round, smooth, the color it's supposed to be. Too big, again, we just talked about that, all in the ego. Now, if it's too little, what happens is this is where crown chakras are closing down, And this is where we feel powerless and we can't make decisions and we don't have clarity and we're like, I don't know what to do, and then we become very negative and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things that happen with the crown chakra. Okay, so at the end I'm going to go through what to do as far as the meditation goes to help open and clear and energize and balance every single chakra. Okay, but right now I just want to get through the chakras, kind of like so you know what they're connected with, how they're connected, what crystals you can use, and so on and so forth. So as we come down, because now we're going backwards, we're going from top to bottom this time, but third eye chakra. Okay, so some of the crystals that you can use for third eye chakra is amethyst. You can use lapis, azurite, blue obsidian, blue calcite, let me see what else, celestite. Those are some of the nice ones. Fluorite. Fluorite's another good one. Sapphire is a good one. What's the other one I was thinking? Sodalite. That's what I'm thinking of. Those are just a few. That's just a handful of crystals. And by all means, you can Google all this stuff. You can buy a crystal book or whatever you need if you want specific crystals. But always make sure that you pick your own crystals. Don't have somebody buy them for you. You want it so you connect with it. I mean, obviously, if you want to buy somebody a crystal and you feel compelled, like, oh, this crystal's gorgeous, so-and-so would love that, you can do that. But when you're buying crystals for yourself, you want to go hand pick them, just like you would with jewelry, okay? Excuse me. So to know whether or not your third eye is way too open, you would know because if there's too much, then what happens is your ego can really get the better of you. It can. You're thinking you're better than others. You're thinking that, well, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm very open. You're not like that. You know, it gets very like weird. Okay. Now, if it's not open enough, then we get into the part where we can be considered oversensitive. Then we get the fear going on, kind of withdrawing too much. Always wanted to be in a fantasy world because we don't want to deal with reality. Okay. Too much wishful thinking, things like that. Now, if your third eye is right where it's supposed to be, you'll be open, you'll be accepting, you'll receive messages, you'll have visuals, whether or not, again, it's out in the open or it's in your mind or in a dream or whatever. But, you know, just keep working on that. And one little thing for everybody, because it is the intuitive spot where we do, you know, clairvoyance. A lot of people, how do I open my third eye more? Well, one, keeping it balanced and clear. But another you can do, Archangel Raphael. Okay, love my angels, you all know that. So, Archangel Raphael, I ask you to please place your right hand on my forehead to help clear, heal, balance, and open my third eye. And when you ask him to do that in meditation with his hand, you don't even have to put your hand there. He will put his. You'll actually feel it. I've done it many times. And I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my third eye tingling. And that's because Archangel Raphael is touching it. It's amazing. It's very, very cool. So, now we move into the throat chakra, okay, right over here. Throat chakra, it's all, again, self-expression. It's about communication, telling your truth, your integrity, being in your space, creativity, okay? And some of the crystals that you could use would be blue calcite, lapis, blue aventurine, blue goldstone, what else? Aquamarine. I'm trying to think like off the top of my head some of the crystals. I'm trying to remember what we have over here. But basically anything blue. And when you're picking stones for the chakras, anything that matches the color works. Okay? So always go with that. When in doubt, go with the color. It's just easier sometimes. But those are some of the crystals that you could use for the throat chakra. Okay. So now throat chakra, what happens? So if we are too open with our throat chakra, okay, what happens is things can become very negative because sometimes we just over mouthing everything. Okay, and is there such a thing as talking too much? Yes, there is. Okay, it becomes very negative. Okay, it becomes very self-centered for some people, because then it becomes the all about me conversation. People that talk way too much, like, wow, like, enough, okay? Bring it down a few notches. This shows that the chakra is just huge, right? It can feel very hyperactive, overbearing sometimes, fanatical, very domineering. That just shows that all that is, it's a throat chakra that's open way too much, okay? Now, of course, if you have a throat chakra that's not open enough, what happens is you're somebody who becomes very withdrawn, depressed, timid, shy, manipulative, unreliable, stubborn. I mean, these are just some of the traits of a person whose throat chakra is all closed up. So mind you, again, if we have it where it's supposed to be, we have free speech, right? Energy flows, words flow, right? And it's not too much and it's not too little, it's just right, okay? So keep that in mind. But you'll know when your throat chakra is off, because what happens, and I know, I can tell when mine is blocked, is you always have that all the time, or your cough. It's like, geez, what's with this cough? Why do I have a tickle? And gee, what's going on with me? Why do I have laryngitis? And those are things that are warning you, like, hey, something's going on in that throat chakra. You gotta open it up, okay? Moving down to the heart chakra. Okay, so now the heart chakra we talked about, it's physical heart, it's emotional heart. We can use green stones, we can use pink stones. So anything that you feel connected to. Now, green stones can be very powerful stones when it comes to the heart chakra. So if you're somebody who's very sensitive to energy, I would try something in the pink. Rose quartz is usually the norm everybody runs to, but you can do rose quartz, you can do pink calcite, rhodonite, rhodochrosite. There's a few more that it's not coming to me. But even in the greens, you can do green aventurine, right? You can do bloodstone. Bloodstone would be good on a physical level, because the green is the heart, but it actually has red veins going through it, which represents the blood in your body. So that shows the physical piece. What else? Malachite, moldavite. Moldavite, be very careful. Moldavite is very strong. Moldavite will bring up the deepest, darkest, negative pieces of ourselves. So if you're going to do moldavite, be prepared to get cranky, okay? Because that's what happens. But that's what you want to happen, but it is very powerful. So some people don't like all that whoosh at once with all that negative. So if you're ready for it, by all means go for it. It helps. But just be mindful of the moldavite. Watermelon tourmaline, oh my God, gorgeous stone. Try to find it. And if you do find it, it's a lot of money. But it's a beautiful stone, so yeah, pink tourmaline, prayanite, these are all different stones. And again, you know, I'm mentioning a few here and there, different types of stones you can use with your chakras. Just Google it, you know, Google crystals for the heart chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral, whatever. And you'll see lists and lists and lists of different stones that you can use, you know, even combinations of stones that you can use. But basically, I just want to give you a few so you have an idea, okay? So now if you have too much green, okay, too much green, we become very apathetic, we have fear of rejection, we be very placid, lethargic, we become lazier. It's just like, we just feel like we let everybody walk all over us. That is when your heart chakra is just like, I mean, too much, sorry, too big, too big. We're letting too much in, okay? So now if it's too small, we become very overcritical, very demanding, possessive, manic depressive, for some people, angry, jealous, what else? We blame others. We have misery, we're overconfident, we're jealous, green with envy, right? We've all heard that before. That's also connect with the heart chakra when it's just too small, okay? So again, bringing balance in to the heart chakra. Now, one of the heart chakra pieces I want to mention, because a lot of us do this, is when we have our first heartbreak, or we have a major heartbreak. Somebody has broken our hearts. We've been with somebody for years, and all of a sudden they break our hearts and leave us. Right away, those walls go up, and we don't want to let anybody in. You don't want to do that. I know in the moment you probably feel like that's what I want to do, but it's not the right thing to do. Because what happens is you don't allow the space for anybody else to come into your life. So unless you want to spend the rest of your life alone, I would open up that heart again. Trust your intuition and knowing when things are good, when things are bad, when things are having a red flag. You'll know. You'll know. So don't shut yourself down completely. Not a good thing to do. All right. So now we move into the solar plexus. Again, this is all about wisdom, clarity, self-esteem, personal power, right? So a lot of the personality traits of people with a good solar plexus: good-humored, optimistic, confident, practical, intellectual, right? Very confident, very open. I think that pretty much covers it. But those are some of the characteristics that you get when you have a good solar plexus, okay? So now if you have too much in this yellow, and let me get the crystals real quick. So crystals, first of all, tiger's eye, citrine, amber. Amber's super expensive, but if you can get it and you like it, by all means, go for it. But these are some of the crystals that you can use. Yellow calcite, again, sticking in the yellows. Any of those would work fine. Now, again, going back, if you have too much with the solar plexus, it's like way open like this. Basically, you can develop the inability to focus, okay, to complete one task at a time, to even become critical and very demanding at times. You feel a lack thereof within yourself, because again, it's your personal power space. You become too much of a perfectionist, always thinking, and and then of course not having the ability to relax because you're overthinking and you don't think you're good enough, and it just goes on and on and on. If you have too small of a sacral, where am I? Solar plexus, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here. My energy's all wound up. If it's too small, you feel very isolated, okay? You have low self-esteem, lack of courage, again, no personal power, very insecure, worried that things don't go your way, things like that. So yeah, again, let's do our best to keep it midway, open about yay big, right? Like a compact disc. That's for me, that's how I see it, like I said. And keep yourself even. Nobody's perfect, but we can keep our energies aligned so that we can be as best as we can be, okay? So then moving forward again, we get into the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra, again, is your emotional side. So some of the orange stones that you can use are, let's see, orange calcite, citrine, golden topaz, rutilated quartz. That's a good one. I like that one. Moonstone, fire agate. Let me see. I'm trying to think what else is there. There's also an orange carnelian. There's some carnelians that are very red, but there's also some that are very orangey looking. Those would work just as well. But of course, your sacral chakra envelops your creativity, your emotional balance, your sexuality, your harmony, your passion, your freedom, your intuition, because again, a lower gut, right? Gut feelings, lower gut, all that within your torso. It's all the expressions of your emotions. So now if you're too much on your sacral, right, it's way too open, what happens is we become very self-centered, we become very manipulative, self-serving, disregarding the needs of others. Pride and arrogance can push us way out of balance, Now, if you don't have enough, your chakra's yay big, too small, We become very frigid, very distrustful, we're timid, shy, oversensitive. And those are just a few, okay? And for some people, they can go as far as becoming very isolated. They become very rebellious, mistrusting of others. Yeah, it can go on and on and on. So if you've been through a lot in life, a lot of trauma, a lot of drama, whatever it may be, and your behaviors, or you know people with behaviors like this, like, oh, okay, I get it now. That's what's going on. But yeah, you know, again, it's focusing on the colors, letting go of the emotions that don't serve us. You know, because in this center we have negative emotions and positive emotions. So your negative emotions are sadness, you know, fears, jealousy, you know, judgment, all that. Those are the negatives. You know what I mean? Then you get the positives. You get happiness and joy and laughter, and you know. So you gotta find what you need for that. You really do. Focus within and see what you need. If you're not happy, you know you're not happy. So find things that will make you happy. Okay. So now moving into the root chakra, the red one at the bottom, right? Right there. Root chakra, groundedness, stability, survival skills, fears, doubts, worries, strength, courage, all of that is in there. What types of stones can we use for that? If you want to use crystals, anything black, believe it or not, is very good for a root chakra because the grounding piece. So if you're really focused just on grounding, a black crystal would work. Other than that, we can move into the red crystals. Again, the red carnelian, the red aventurine, red bloodstone, because there's red within the green. Fire agate, garnet, hematite. Hematite's very strong though. Hematite will really ground you, and sometimes ground you too much to the point where you're not connecting because you're way too grounded. Okay. A light stone that's great for grounding is jet. When you hold it, it's like it weighs nothing. Like I put it in people's hands and they're going, oh my God, this doesn't weigh anything. Is it real? I'm like, yeah, it's real. But that's it. The material it is. It's so light. It feels like there's nothing in your hand. So that is good for grounding. You could use something like that. And again, back to the red, any red, you know, red jasper. I'm just trying to think real quick here. Oh, there is a red tiger's eye as well. You can use tiger's eye for your solar plexus, but there's actually red tiger's eye that you can use for your root chakra, but there's also a blue tiger's eye, and you can use that for your throat. So just keeping that in mind. So if you have too much, your root chakra is open way too much, you get angry. You have temper tantrums, a short fuse. You can be very negative at times, very demanding, very oppressive. Okay, these are some of the feelings that a person with a root chakra too big would have. Okay, if it's not open enough, that's when the fear comes in. Fears, doubts, worries. Oh my God, you can be very lethargic. Very whiny, very manipulative, but then very cautious, and like, see how your energy is just kind of all over the place depending on the size of your chakra. It's craziness. So again, we want to bring it in so it's here. Okay. But yeah, I mean, anything like that, you know, if you're noticing a lack of energy, a lack of feeling, a lack of a lot of different things, like I'm not feeling myself, start checking in with yourself. Like, what is going on? You know, what is not balanced in your life? What chakra do you feel is off? You know, so for myself, like I do a sound bath meditation once a month here at Sisters. And what happens is each bowl that I have is tuned to each chakra. So I have the 7 chakras and 7 bowls. And when I hit, say, the throat chakra, I always know people who are here attending the meditation start coughing. Because that sound vibration, that gigahertz, megahertz, whatever it is, when it hits their chakra, it makes it vibrate to clear it out, and therefore it makes them cough. And people tell me, like, I can tell you where you are with the bowls because I can feel it in my body, you know. So it's all energy. It's definitely all energy. So other than paying attention to what chakra is not right, it's either too big, too small, it's off, blocked, whatever it is, pay attention to how you're feeling. mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. And if you need to clear it out, my suggestion, and I'm going to explain it to you now here, but on our website, sistersofsolace.net, we have our page that if you click on the link on the side, the left-hand side, it says videos and podcasts. I have one there about clearing your chakras. Okay, so you can always listen to that. But by all means, go to YouTube and just put in chakra meditation. You'll get so many. Some are guided, some are just sound, and you just listen. But basically, you sit still, lay down, make sure you're not going to be disturbed. Shut your phone off. You can leave it alone for 20 minutes or so. Get comfortable, close your eyes, 2 or 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then what you want to do is envision yourself in a space. For me, it's always a garden. Create this beautiful garden, and this garden can be anything you want it to be. Okay, if you'd rather be at the beach, then be at the beach. If you want to be out in the mountains, be out in the mountains. If you want to be in your own backyard or your own bedroom in your mind, then by all means do that. Create that space. Now, once you're comfortable in that space, you can call in the angels to surround you and protect you and help to guide you through your meditation. Then you start with the root chakra. Envision a beautiful little ball of red light in front of you. And as you take a deep breath in, you breathe that red light right into your root chakra. And you allow your root chakra to open and spin and balance and heal so that you can have it energized. And just envision that red ball of light, the size of a CD, opening you up, spinning around, right? Energizing that chakra. Then move up to the next one. I breathe in a big ball of orange light and allow it to go into my sacral chakra to open it, balance it, heal it, and energize it. And again, see that big ball of orange light, just nice and bright and spinning. Then I breathe in a big ball of yellow light and allow this yellow light to open and heal and balance and energize my solar plexus. And then envision that yellow ball of light at the size of a CD, just open and bright and spinning. Then I take another deep breath in. As I do, I draw in that green light or pink light, whichever you prefer, or bring in both. Pink and green merged together into that heart chakra, allowing your heart chakra to open and heal and balance and energize. And then see that big ball of light, bright color, and just spinning. Then we breathe in one more time, and we breathe in blue light right into our throat chakra. And we allow that blue light to open our throat chakra, to heal it and to balance it and to bring energy into it. Then we ask for the indigo light as we breathe in to enter our third eye chakra, to open, heal, balance, and energize that chakra so that we may see clearly. And then lastly, breathing in beautiful purple light. Or if you choose white, go with white, whatever pops into your mind. Purple or white is fine. Breathing in that purple light and allowing it to enter your crown chakra to open and balance and heal and energize it so that I have clear connection to the divine. Then hold that energy for a little bit. Allow yourself to do your best to envision yourself and see the purple, the indigo, the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red. You can also envision yourself laying down and seeing a rainbow of color come through the sky and see the rainbow land on you, filling you with the colors. Either works. Whatever is best for you. Whatever visual works for you. So that's my talk on the chakras. It's not super in depth, but it's enough so you can understand what they are, where they are, what they're good for, what they do, whether they're overactive, underactive, or right where they're supposed to be. And if you're not sure, then meditate on it. See yourself standing in front of a mirror in a meditation, and then look down at where your root chakra is. What does it look like? Do you see a teeny tiny red dot, or do you see this big ball of red light? You know, what do you see? And if you can't see it, just I am filling my root chakra with red healing light. I am filling my sacral with orange healing light. And so on and so on and so on. There's so many different ways of doing it. Remember, everything we do is 90% intention, 10% work. So don't overthink it. Just go with it and enjoy it. So this is my talk for August, all about the chakras. I hope you enjoyed. And until next month, have a great one.